Let's continue exploring the universe within art and the art behind farming. I'm your host, Amledu, and in this episode, we're going to build a super simple automated wool farm. And best of all, you can build this at any size, from having a single sheep to having one for every color in the rainbow, or even more. The number of sheep is totally up to you. We'll also go over how to make an automatic shears loader so that you don't have to load the shears into each dispenser by hand. You simply just fill up a minecart full and let it go. Keep your sheep sheared and your wool boxes full. Here are the materials to build this farm. All of the stuff at the top is the stuff that you will need per sheep per section. If you have silk touch, go ahead and bring grass blocks, but if you don't, that's okay. We can just use dirt and let the grass spread up to the dirt. Now you will also need either torches or light source blocks, and if you want the auto shears loader, you will need the minecart with chest and some rails. You will also need some wheat to feed to the sheep. The first thing to think about is if you want to build this above or below ground. Building it above will make it slightly more challenging to load in the sheep. There are still easy ways to get that done, but we could also just build it underground instead. But regardless, you do still want the grass blocks to have sky access so that the grass grows as fast as it possibly can. In this example, I will be building it above ground, but just know that if you want to build it underground, start off by digging down 5 in a 5 wide area. So just follow along, but build it in this hole instead. Another thing to note is that grass can grow down up to 3 blocks, so building it in this 5 deep hole, the grass will spread to dirt blocks as long as there are grass along the edge. So if you don't have silk touch, the grass will spread to the dirt. But start off by placing a double chest here in the front, and no matter where you place this double chest, that is where we're going to start. But if you build it above ground, and you don't have silk touch, just know that you can build a dirt staircase so that the grass grows up the dirt onto your platform. But no matter if you placed your chest on the surface or in a hole, we're going to start off by placing a hopper pointed into the back of that chest. Then we're going to place a rail with a minecart with hopper on top of that hopper, and you can box in this minecart if you want to. It is not required, but that will keep you and other mobs from bumping into it and knocking it off. But above the minecart, we want to have 4 grass blocks. So if you have silk touch, just build all of this out of grass. But if you don't have silk touch, you can just wait for the grass to grow onto the dirt. Once you have even a single grass block, it will then spread to all of the other dirt in your platform. So again, if you don't have silk touch, just wait for some grass to spread up to your platform. But then we're going to place an observer looking at this back centermost dirt. Then on top of that observer, we need a dispenser facing toward the platform. Then 2 glass blocks on each side. And those do need to be glass, but this one on top of the dispenser can be any block that you want. Then behind this observer, we need a solid block with redstone dust on the top. Now we can just load in our shears into the dispenser. You can fill it up or load in a single one. It is totally up to you. And that's it. We are now totally done with a single cell. So now we just need to load a sheep into our farm and we'll be totally done. So if you built this above ground, just build like a staircase so that we and the sheep can get up here. Or if you built this sunk into the ground, just fill in some of the ground so that we can walk to that hole. And then we either need lead or a wheat. You know, wheat is actually better, but one neat trick with a lead is that if you have a fence that you've been breeding sheep in, you can lift out a single sheep, like you see here, just by pillaring up. Now we just need to drag the sheep over to our hole. Now using wheat for this process makes it much easier because the sheep never tries to wander off. Even if you're using a lead, the sheep will sometimes kind of meander where it's not supposed to go. But if you're holding wheat, you can kind of back up until it's right next to the hole, and then just kind of push it in. Now sheep are very fluffy, so they might be kind of hard to get in the hole, but with a little bit of patience, you will succeed. Now be sure to feed the sheep 1 wheat so that it never despawns. You could also name tag it or breed it, but as long as you feed it 1 wheat, it should never despawn. Now if you want to build the rail system, we're going to need a trap door on the side of this center top block right here. So like right there. But if you're not going to build the rail system, then we don't need that trap door. We just need one on top to make sure that nothing can get inside. And now, if you want to stop here, you totally can. As the sheep eats the grass to refill his wool, the observer will notice that the grass is now missing, which will then trigger the dispenser to shear the sheep. Then the wool will get picked up by the minecart and sent into your chest. And you can build as many of these as you want to. A lot of people will build 1 for every color, and honestly, I think that's overkill. I have never seen anyone actually use all of that wool. And because you can change the color of the sheep, I would recommend building like 5 of these, and then just changing the color whenever you need different colors of wool. All you have to do to change the color is dye the sheep, like so. Now, one issue is that as soon as the sheep refills his wool, the dispenser will shear him so that he's naked again, and you can't dye naked sheep. So what I do in order to prevent the sheep from getting sheared whenever I want to change colors is add an extra line of blocks in redstone so that all of the dust is connected, like so, and then add a lever. And when this lever is on, the dispensers will no longer shear the sheep, so then you could just wait for the sheep to regrow and dye them. To increase the rates of this farm, we just need to make sure the grass grows faster, so either use torches or light source blocks. Also make sure that the grass has access to the sky, so that it has the maximum light value during the day. But then we want the grass to grow at night, so just add light source blocks in between this dirt or this grass, or if you don't have light source blocks, simply use torches. And last but not least, if you want an automated refilling station for your shears, that is super duper easy as well. The first thing is we need to make sure that there is a trapdoor on this second block on the side, like so. You also need to make sure that the top trapdoor remains closed. For some reason, the sheep can jump out using the side one as like a ledge. But once your trapdoors are all in place, we can break out the blocks on top of the dispensers so that the sheep are still trapped. Now we just need a hopper pointed into the side of every single dispenser. Now we just need to build a rail system. So go out by 2 blocks, up by 1, place a lever on it, then place some powered rails here at the end. How many is really up to how many sheep you have. Then fill in the rest with regular rails. And if you do need to add powered rails somewhere in the middle because you have tons and tons of sheep, you can simply do that like you see here, with a floating block with a lever on it. But then for the very front section where we're going to load it, we need to have a powered rail followed by a regular rail, place a minecart with chest on top of the powered rail, and now we need a hopper pointed into that chest. So aim at the rail that it is sitting on so that that hopper is pointed into the chest. And really, you could load the shears directly into the minecart chest if you want to, or you can add another container on top of a hopper in order to have even more shears ready to go. Really, it all depends on if you want the minecart to be visible or not, or if you want to have extra shears ready to go. But then place a lever on the side of this block next to the minecart so that when you turn it on, it will then distribute all of the shears to the dispensers. And really, the shears on this farm will not break very often. You do not have to fill them up all the time. You know, maybe once every like 50 hours, it could do with a new shear or two. But let me know down in the comments how many sheep you plan on using for this farm. Are you going to use one for every single color, or are you just going to go with some sort of minimalistic design? Me personally, whenever I build this on realms or servers, I always go with the bare minimum to cut down on lag, because every single section has 2 entities. It has a sheep plus a minecart with hopper. That's 32 entities just to farm all the colors of wool. So especially if you're playing on multiplayer, just always be aware of your impact on the lag. But that's all we got for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe. And be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you did or didn't like about this video, or if you have any questions or requests, and I will do my best to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. And as always, don't forget to have fun. Bye-bye.